Alright, so how are we going to create a histogram by hand? Okay, so we're talking about our height data, or time it takes to get to school. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make up some numbers, and let's make them up together, and we'll say it takes someone 2 minutes. And actually, if I was in class, we would all come up to the board and put these on there. So let's say it's 2, 12, 7, 5, 11, 27, 7, 6, 12, 2. These 2s are kind of silly, but I always get that when I get people. They live right across from school, and it takes you like 2 minutes to get in your car, right? But well, let's change the 2 to another 12. Then we'll make an 8, 7, 4. I don't know. I'm just trying to make up numbers here. Let's go 2 rows of these things. 15, 12, 13, 8, 30, 18, 19. Okay. So what you want to do when you're doing this is you first off have to get an idea of the numbers. So we have, how many numbers we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 20 numbers. Now we can't really say, okay, I want to have 5 classes, 5 bars, and I'm going to split them up evenly because, and 4 in each of them, because they're not the same amount. What we really have to do is we have to think low end to high end. So I need to go from 2 to 27. So I need to make sure I get at least there. So how about I go from 0 to 30? And I'm going to go by 5s. And that'll give me 6 classes. If you see that? Now, the way I've got this set up, I'm going to kind of steal this chart here, and I'm going to write them over here. So these are going to be my limits. And the tally is kind of silly, and then the frequency. So you can kind of skip this one if you want. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, so it's 0 to 5. And we're going to go in this one. And now we're going to say, okay, well, how many of them are there? So we go through here. That's 1. Now here's the question. Do we count 5 or do we not? Because the next class is going to be from 5 to 10, right? And you can put comma or you can put dash. I like the comma because I'm going to now use brackets and parentheses. So here's a way of thinking about it. Think about like the 90s. 90 to 2000, right? Which one of those is the 90s? Is 1990 in the 90s or is 2000 in the 90s? 2000 in the 2000s, right? So what it'll be is you're going to bracket the left and parentheses the right. So 5 doesn't count, but 0 does. 5 does count, but 10 doesn't. So when we go through this list, as I'm counting them, this is where you can use the tally. Okay, there's the 1 for the 2. All right, so 5 doesn't count because it's in the next category. 4 counts. So I've got 2 tick marks, which is a frequency of 2. Okay, you can do it either way. You don't need both of these things, but you need 2. All right, and then we're going to go 5 to 10, and we're going to count them out here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, and see, this is the thing. I'm just going to write 7. 10 to 15. Oh, sorry, bracket on the 10. And that'd be 15 to 20. And then 20 to 25, and then 25 to 30. Now, when you don't have something in a category, well, let's just keep going through this and see what happens. So, 10 to 15, anything there? We got 12, 1, 2, oh, I missed this one, 3, 4, don't count to that, 5, 6, we got 6 of them, from 15 to 20. All right, let's see here, no 20. Oh, that's not even part of our stuff, sorry. 15 to 20, right? So 1, 2, 3. Anything from 20 to 25. Nothing, 0. And then 27 to 30, so 2. Now, when you're going to make a histogram, this is the first thing you have to do. You have to figure out where everything belongs. And now it's just going to look like a bar chart where this, do your best with these. But this is going to be your time. And then we're going to put our numbers in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And you should put them all in there. And this is in minutes. And then this side is going to be frequency. Okay, so from, and then these numbers are from before. They're not the numbers on here. So I only have to get up to 8, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So be careful. This row right here is the frequency column. This is not the numbers on my y-axis. So from 0 to 5 I have 2. So I'm going to go up to 2. From 5 to 10 I've got 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6. How many I got? 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. And some people will write the numbers in there, like 2 to 7. It doesn't really hurt. And then 6. And then 3. It's hard to draw on here. I'm sorry. And then 0, so you don't draw anything. You can draw it on the bottom if you want to, but that'd be about it. 2. So how would I say this? If I want to describe this distribution, I would say I'm skewed right. And then, so you have to talk about center, shape, center, and spread. So shape, center, spread. So the shape I said was skewed right. And the center, so to find that I have to find the average would probably be the easiest one. Take them all up, add them up, divide by 20. And then the spread, I'm not going to bother with that. You can do that yourself. The spread would be from 2 to 27, so the spread would be 25. Now a quick note, I said 0 to 30. Any reason you can't do 2 to 27 or you can't do 3 to 27? No. If you did 3 to 27, you can go by 9s or something like that, but you can only have 3 boxes. Kind of rule of thumb, you want to have the minimum classes you could have is really 4 boxes. It should be 5 or more, really. There is not really a right way of breaking these up. Going by 5, this makes a lot of sense in these problems. There's no reason that you can't go from 0 to 3. You can go 10 boxes and then go up to 30, right? So there isn't really a right way or a wrong way. You have to pick a set that makes sense to you. So that's how you do this by hand. Now let me show you in the calculator really quick. So the problem is when I do this and go to calculator, I'm going to lose all my numbers. So I'm just going to make up some new numbers here. And actually, let me see. Can I go to the next page? So this one wants you to use your height. It's the studying thing that's on your set. So I'm going to do a little bit of this. Actually, I'm just going to make up numbers like I did before. So I'll pull up my calculator. And I would tell you this. I mean, you should know how to do it by hand. But for the most part, you're generally going to do this in the calculator. And then you're going to, or you're going to check this on the calculator. So what you're going to do is hit Stat, Edit, and list 1, you're going to put your data. And I'm going to go up here and clear this guy out and hit Enter. Now, make sure you hit Clear. If you go up and hit Delete, it will delete your list 1 and it won't be there. So what you'd have to do is hit Second Insert, and it'll give you a blank list, and you're going to name it Second L1. And there we go, it's back. There's a couple ways of doing that, but that's probably the most obvious way. Alright, so we're going to put our numbers. I'm going to make up numbers again. So I know the first number was 2, let's say 8, 12, 20, 27 was one of them, or about 28, I don't know, 5, 4, oh, 45. Okay, that's maybe me. 14, 13, there were a bunch of 12s in there. 7, 9, 14, 15. So I'm just making up numbers, just so we're all aware. I'm going to do 20 of them again. Not 112, sorry. 15, 11, and let's say 9. Okay, so I've got 20 numbers, and I know they're different, and I could use these numbers that are on the page here, but I want to show you how to make a histogram just in general. So we got our data in there, and we want to tell the calculator to make a histogram for me. So you're going to hit second, y equals, which is a stat plot, and you're going to go to plot 1, hit enter. We're going to turn this on, and then we're going to scroll down to type. And you see my type has got the histogram already highlighted. If it's not highlighted, like so, that's how most people are probably on the first one, you're going to scroll over to it, and you're going to hit enter. Now, you see how it says XList L1? That's what you want to have unless you put your data in list 2. And if it isn't list 2, then you want to make sure it says L2 here. And to get that, you hit second L2. Now, frequency, you should have nothing in there, or let's see if it'll let me delete it. This may or may not like this. You do not want your frequency to be list 2, so I'm going to try to just leave it deleted and see what happens. But do not have it be list 2. It'll either let me delete it, or I might have to put a 1 in this. See, it's not letting me like arrow out of this. I think 1 is okay, but L2 is a problem. Okay, and then you're going to hit zoom, and you're going to zoom stat, which is probably the last one. Nope, that's zoom 9, sorry. Hit enter, and we get our histogram. Now, I also have a graph on there, so you might want to go to Y1 and clear out whatever's in there. Now, when you do this, you see kind of some interesting stuff. So you can hit trace, and you see how it's going from 2 to 10.6, and there's 7 of them. That's kind of odd things to go by. 8.6, that's weird. So what we can do is hit window, and you really want to do this every time. I'm going to go 2 to 53.6. That's weird. Let's go from 0 to 60. I don't remember what the highest number is. I think 53.6 is probably weird. And we're going to go by tens. So the X scale, it would be your bin width is what it's called. So this will give me 10, this will give me 6 different bins. And when I hit graph, now I see it like this. And if I trace, it will tell me my minimum is 0, and you see how it has minimum equals 0 and max is less than 10, so that's a whole bracket on 0 and a parentheses on 10. And I scroll to the right, and I go to the minimum is 10 to 20, and there's 11 of them, and you can see that on the right hand side, that n equals 11. So that's how high your graph should go. You go to the right, from 20 to 30, there's one of them. From 30 to 40, there's only one. From 40 to 50, there's one, and I don't know why it went all the way up to 60. So I went to 53 before, but it really only has to go up to 50. Now, if I didn't like this, I'm going to say, well, I didn't have to go up to 60. I can go up to 50. Okay, I can make that go up to 50. And let's say I want to have more bins. I'm going to go by 5 instead of 10s. So I can change this to 5, and let's see what happens. So it gives me a lot more of them. And so now when I graph this, and I trace from 0 to 5, I got 1. And then scroll to the right, from 5 to 10, I got 6. From 10 to 15, I've got 7. From 15 to 20, I got 4, and then 0, and then you just go across the screen and just copy them down. The good news is you get to use your calculator on every single test and quiz, so you can always check what you've got. So if you're making a histogram, it doesn't happen often. A lot of times you're interpreting their histograms on the AP exam, but if you have to make your own histogram, I would do it on the calculator. It's not hard to do by hand. You should know how to do it by hand, but it's really easy to miscount. Now, the one thing that happens on the calculator is when you go to stat and you go to edit and you go to type in your data, when you have a lot of data here, you can get them wrong. And so one of the things is, you see the sum, I put that on there, so if you hit stat, calc, one variable stats, if you look at it, it's got the second one is the sum, and so as long as those numbers match. Now these aren't the same numbers, but you can see if you actually type them in right. The new color calculators, whenever you hit the double numbers, like 100 here, if you do 100, a lot of times you'll just see 10. You have to be slow with typing them in. That's why I don't have the color calculator, because it's really kind of tricky to type in data. Alright, so from here, it's half class video gone already. I see 25 minutes on mine with the 2 videos, probably a little bit longer for you to get in there and all that. So what you need to do now is to finish the rest of these problems. I think you just got the one, don't you? So you should go back to your information and find time studying for math. If there isn't one on there, I'm trying to remember the thing, then pick one of your data sets and try that. So like we did school, but you could do height, or you can do sleep. So if there's not time studying for math, then do sleep. Actually, no, that's not it. I was trying to find the little picture that I had. So use sleep or time studying for math. So do one of them from our data, and then do the other problem here. Okay? All right, good luck.